In the heart of the wilderness, a wolf pack thrives, embodying a culture of unity, teamwork, and resilience. Wolves, like successful teams, understand the importance of clear communication and shared goals. Each member plays a unique role, contributing to the pack's strength. Just as wolves collaborate to hunt, a successful team collaborates to achieve its objectives. They move in sync, leveraging each other's strengths, and communicate to reinforce bonds within the pack. A team also finds strength in a shared vision, a common goal that resonates with every member. When wolves take turns leading the pack, a team must recognize the value of balance, promoting a healthy work-life dynamic. They demonstrate unparalleled loyalty and support when one of their own faces a challenge. A motivated team rallies together in times of adversity, providing unwavering support and encouragement. In the dance of nature, the wolf pack symbolizes the essence of teamwork. Just like these magnificent creatures, a united team can conquer any challenge, creating a culture that echoes the strength, resilience, and harmony of a wolf pack. When one eats, we all eat.
Hey everyone, welcome everyone. What I'd like for you to do right now is to please contact everybody you know. I want you to make sure that you invite, that you tag, that you comment, because thank God for the pack. The pack has decided to sponsor this amazing event, and it's called Black History Speaks. Black History Speaks. And what we are doing for the month of February is that we're looking at, from a very real standpoint, from a very today standpoint, at our history as a people. And we are going to speak not only from the past, but how the past has impacted us today and how today will impact our children tomorrow. What you can do as a part of this community or an ally of this community. Black History Speaks. We are never silent. We will not be stopped. There is so much in our history. There is so much within our community. There is so much even within the wolf pack itself. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid. This is not regarding business. This is for everyone. This is for you to share on your pages, get everyone involved. It is time for us to really learn and find out what it's like, what's going on in the community. And I am so excited today. I am beyond excited because our very first guest is someone that is very, very special to me. Anyone that knows me knows about my big brother, Kenny. Anybody that has a conflict with me knows about my big brother, Kenny. Anyone that's been good with me knows about my big brother, Kenny. And when I say he's just that kind of a brother, he really is. And to me, he is such a stand-up gentleman that he is a protector, a provider, a husband, a son, a father. He is so many things to so many people. And because of his lineage, because of where he comes from, I could not think of a better guest to have on our first episode. And before I bring him out, I believe that the only way that I can truly introduce him is by way of, like I said, his lineage, a little piece of where he comes from. And a lot of people know and we talk about it, but I don't think we've seen and heard from the man himself. And so I want to introduce everyone now to his father, none other than Mr. Earl Lloyd. Hold on just a moment, everybody, and let's see if we can get this playing.
When Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color barrier in 1947, he did it in the glare of the national spotlight. 3 years later, a similar but quieter revolution took place in the NBA. On a snowy evening in 1950, Earl Lloyd stepped onto an NBA court in Rochester, New York. It was the first time an African American had ever played for an NBA team. Later in an interview, he described his integration into the all-white league as uneventful.
In the wintertime in Rochester, man, it's too damn cold to hate anybody.
Lloyd played in only 7 games for the Washington Capitals before the team folded. He then joined the Army, where he remained until the Syracuse Nationals claimed him off waivers. He went on to win an NBA championship with Syracuse in 1955, before retiring from the league in 1960. Today, because of Earl Lloyd, African Americans make up more than 75% of the players in the NBA.
Hey,
What's up, bro? What's
hey,
going on?
how you doing? How you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. That piece right there, man. That piece right there. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna talk about the fact that they missed so much. You know, they missed so much. What amazing, man. You are truly blessed, my brother. You are truly blessed. Wow, that's history. We talk about Black history because of your father, that man. They said 75%. I would like to say that number is probably fudged a little bit, but 75% of the NBA were able to walk on that court because your father walked on it first. How does it feel? How does it feel when you hear that all of your life? How does it feel?
I mean, well, number one, it's a fact. You know, I don't care. Like a lot of people, it's funny because I tell people that, you know, I don't think people really understand the impact or really don't want to acknowledge the impact of it because, you know, I don't walk around with it on my shoulder. But the reality is this, that it was him, Sweetwater, Clifton, and Chuck Cooper, 3 that were drafted. He was the first to actually play. The thing is, it was an experiment. And there was a group of white men that thought it was time to open up, you know, then break the color barrier. And they selected some people, not just because of their talent, because it was much like Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson wasn't the most talented, but they did psychological evaluations on on Chuck Cooper, Sweetwater, and my father, as they did with Jackie Robinson, because they had to know what they were getting. They had to know how he would handle himself under fire, how he handled, you know, issues, how he handled controversy, you know, mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And my father was a master of that, and he understood. So it feels good, but the deepness of it is that in that first game, if he saw somebody throw some popcorn on his mother in the stands and ran up there and beat somebody up, I'm telling you, it would have set blacks in the NBA back 15 years. And so he always understood that this was much bigger than him. You know, that he had to perform not just for his stats, his ego. He had to perform for his people to show that our people as our people as a race were capable of not just making a team, but performing on that level. Because my father he started immediately. And I'm repeating what he used to share with me. He used to say, Kenny, it wasn't just about making a team. I had to go and show them that we were capable of not performing, but dominating. And that was his whole idea. He said, no matter what, he used to always say, you know, I couldn't do what everybody else was doing. I could not practice. I had to work harder. I had to be better. And he was, because the championship team he played on, he started. So, but it was his mentality that he couldn't do what they were doing. Also, like, you know, because everything and I think that I got it from him because psychologically, my father was he was very philosophical. Like he couldn't go like after the games, you know, the blacks, you got to know the blacks that supported him, you know, a lot of them own clubs and everything. They would ask him, come on, man, come on to the club, man, I got you. He wouldn't go because he knew that the opportunity and the responsibility of being the first black was greater than his need to go party and situation with women and be acknowledged because he knew that if he went to a club and something broke out and a fight broke out and somebody got killed and he was in there, that it would hurt him and it would hurt the people that believed in him. So his thing to me was, Kenny, if you ain't in the picture, you can't get framed. You know? And that was deep because I still, hey, you know, in the position that I'm in, which is not near the position that he was in, but I still take on some responsibility as a black man. You know, I'm very careful about where I go, you know, and I understand the responsibility that I carry given this God-given gift that I have, you know, and I make sure that I always protect the gift. And that's what my father did. He protected the gift.
Wow, that is amazing. That was so profound. If you're not in the picture, you can't get framed. And as you were speaking, my mind went to the boxer Hurricane, watching that movie and thinking about Hurricane and everything. He was in the picture, therefore he got framed. That is amazing. And to understand, and he was a young man when he took upon himself this mantle.
That's right.
And he understood even then the impact that he would have on us today. And I am grateful to God that he did not walk away from it. He did not say, no, not me. He had the temperament to do this thing right. And that's what I think this whole series will be about. Now you've set the pace about us talking about doing the right things right. The topic that we selected, and of course I had to run it by you and make sure it's all right, is ballers and shot callers. That's and my little bit is barking in the back, my co-host, but ballers and shot callers, that's what we went with. And it's a myth in the community that you can only make it out if you can play ball, if you can sing, or if you are a street entrepreneur. And I'm just gonna clean it up that way. But we know what we're talking about. That's the way that those are three ways that you can make it out. And that's what the myth is. That's what people tell us. But even your father, and what we missed in this little short introduction of your dad or your father they didn't mention is that he didn't stop just playing in the NBA. He went on to become the first black assistant coach. I did my research, but I've been knowing this for years. And then he was the third black
Second.
Second. Okay, you know what? You got just a little funny story. We were putting together something years ago. Kenny and I were putting together something, and I went to Dr. Google. And I pulled a picture of what I thought was his dad. And I just knew that Dr. Google would not lead me wrong. And he said to me, do you think I don't know my father? That is not my dad. It was a statue that somebody had made. And I wanted to argue him down. And then I had to think about it, that maybe this man might have known his father a little bit longer than Dr. Google. So he might have recognized it. And here we are again. Dr. Google told me third, but I'm going to go with second. I think
the conversation was a little different. I think when you were trying to convince me that was my father, the conversation was, are you special or something like that?
Some special words.
Are you like special in a different kind of way? Like, you don't think I would know who my father is? Like, are you, or you must think I'm special or something.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I went ahead and changed the picture, folks. I did do that. I think it was for the Lloyd Foundation, Lloyd Legacy, that we were working on, and that's something that you established, your father. But I wanted to let people know that he did not just stop on the court. So while we talk about ballers and shot callers, it's okay to be a baller, it's okay to be a singer, but you have to know something about your business and you have to know something about leadership if you truly want to make an impact on history. And that's where you come in, because the legacy was only beginning with him. He's got a son named Kenny Lloyd. Um, and so let's talk about the impact on of history and the myth, because you could have easily been any of those three. Easily. Because people don't know you play ball. You're an athlete. People don't know that. We only see you as Kenny Lloyd, the businessman, the CEO, but there's so many aspects to your life. Talk about that a little bit, Kenny, about how the legacy was passed on to you, where you went beyond just being a baller and you went into your life and ended up where you are today.
Well, let me say this. Okay, we're gonna talk real. I mean,
Yeah, be real.
that myth is bullshit. That's number one. Okay, that's number one. Because we know, especially in this time, I think that might have been a myth 20, 40 years ago. It was different 40 years ago. But now, our youth, I mean, we have there are people 20 years old that are making millions of dollars because they've become very tech savvy. They become very aware of the possibilities to earn money on social media. Like right now, there is no excuse for somebody young not to be making money. It's because the opportunities are very vast, and they're more vast than they were before. I think that and I told Rocky wanted to talk about something, but I told the girl, listen, I'm feeling something, okay? As when I really look at us and I look at us from a business standpoint and look at us from where we are, my point of reference of business, of course, I do other things. I do real estate, invest. I do other things, but my mainstay is network marketing. And this industry of network marketing has really blessed me. And I've had the pleasure of really being in the presence and working along with people that have really broke barriers, and that have really broken the bondage, of their circumstances they were in before they started making money. I mean, one in particular, I have to say, is my sister Stormy Wellington. I've had the pleasure of Stormy. Well, I think really right now, I think Stormy is really the premier African American networker in the industry. I really do. I think a lot of different people look at people and judge people, and I think that one of the things, and I'm gonna get off a little bit, that really hinders us, like when we have opportunities, when it comes to us, I think the thing that hinders us is our emotions. And I think that people look at us and always want to utter the words like, why can't we come together? Why don't we, like I had somebody send me something the other day that was talking about, what, I forget the brother's name, but he's of the nation. He's a Muslim and brilliant young man. And he was talking about, we should be supporting each other. We should keep our money within, circulate our money within our community, circulate like the Asians, like the Hispanics, circulate our money within. We don't do it. We don't. And I told him, hey man, I don't even want to engage in that conversation. I said, because I'm almost like Farrakhan. I saw Farrakhan in one of those state of the African American nation with Tavis Smiley, Cornell, I forget his last name, and other notable blacks, and they were talking about what they thought was a state and what needs to be done. And they got to Farrakhan, and Farrakhan said, hey, I don't even want to talk about it. He said, because, the thing is, we've been talking about the same thing since 1968. And there's been no change. And there's been no change because many of you sitting here at the table are sponsored by people that are not of color. And you're sponsored, you're on the payrolls. So therefore, the things that really need to be addressed and need to be said, they will never be addressed and said at this table because you of self. You value yourself and your money and your careers more than you value the elevation of our people. And I subscribe to that. I believe that, and I don't knock anybody because that's your choice. My thing is that if that is your choice, then don't enter into a conversation about the elevation of our people. Just let it be your choice and stay away from that conversation publicly. Don't even call yourself an activist because you're not. As it pertains to my industry, people always say, "Listen, I mean, like, why don't we work together? Why don't we work together?" And I don't listen. I'm a very positive person, but the reality is that I think this Willie Lynch thing, man, has really. I mean, like Willie Lynch was the master of all mental manipulation because his mental manipulation has lasted for generation after generation after generation after generation. And it's about pitting us apart. Because you really want to know why in this industry, why we don't come together, and because here's the reality. Myself included, there are probably 4 other networkers that if you came together and formed a company, we would capture probably 98% of the African American dollars that are spent in other companies and allow us to enrich these people to develop their money and teach them how to use their money and begin recycling it amongst ourselves, right? There are probably 4 others. There are countless others that are really doing big things. But the reason that we just don't come together is because we are conditioned to think that we each are superior to each other. And that's the part of the Willie Lynch thing. They will come to me and say, "Kenny, man, I see your lineage, man, your people. And listen, man, you're a very special person. You're special. Like you're special. And we see things about you, and we want to embrace you. We're going to elevate you and bring you to the boys club. And you're going to be you're a very special guy. You're one of those special ones. And we're going to lift you up, but we're going to bring you here. But, but everybody can't come. Everybody can't come. So we're going to embrace you. And what does it do? It makes me say, hey, I can't hang out with y'all because I got other things going on a different level, because I've been made to feel like I'm special. Then they'll go to somebody else and say, "You're special. You're not just special, like you are like a special person, right? And you're far more special than that special one." But you're really special. There are levels to this thing, and we're gonna take you and put you over here and give you access to this room. Then they'll go to somebody else and say, "Now you are super duper, absolutely freaking special,
Very special,
more special than that person that's special. You definitely more special than the person that's special." And we're going to, and there are levels to this. And you shouldn't even be your name shouldn't even be associated with their name. And you should never be on any platform with them. We don't want you because it's designed to keep us separate, because the powers to be know that if we ever came together, that we wouldn't have to talk about being special, because what we would do is be something that is beyond special. We would be doing something that's magnificent, something enormous, something that would help our people beyond imagine. But what we do is that we refuse to do it because we all think that we have our own agendas. We think that we're greater, better, smarter, but the fact of the matter is that none of us is bigger or better than the other. We each just possess different gifts and talents. And God has given some of us greater talents to serve on a greater level. God has given some talents to serve on this level. God has given me this gift to serve on my level. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I'm being very honest with you. But nobody is greater than me. I'm not greater than anybody. And the moment we start thinking that we are greater, what we start doing is the spiritual gift that God has given us, because he didn't give us our gift to be greater than anybody. He didn't give Moses the gift to make Moses greater than any man. He gave him a gift to serve. So the point that I'm making is that until we stop thinking that we are bigger and better than each other, we will never, because it happens in corporate America too. You know, they take somebody and pay them $500,000, like in network marketing. That's no money for the 1 percentile. You got people making that a month. In corporate America, you make 500,000. You in your group, you are the person. You know, like you are the upper tier. You that 1 percentile, and that you are conditioned by the people to pay you to make you think, come on, you're going to join this country club. You know, you're going to be one of very few of you that are even able to be a part of this, but you're special, because they know that if we ever came together, that we would do things that are beyond special. And so within our industry, until we stop thinking that we're more special than the people that we work along with, the people that we know in the industry, until we stop thinking that and understand that what makes you super special is that you have a super special gift that God gave you that might be different than what my gift is. But yet, I possess a gift you don't possess. Somebody possesses, like you take Stormy. Stormy and I have been friends for a long time. And there's no competition. That I understand that Stormy possesses gifts that I don't possess, but I possess gifts that she possesses. So that allows us to have maintained a mutual respect for each other. You know, you take somebody like Holton. Holton has special gifts that a lot of people don't possess. You understand what I'm saying? But what makes my relationship with Holton different is that he has shared his gifts with me, but I have gifts that he doesn't possess, and we mutually have a mutual respect in other people in this industry. You know, you follow me? So I just think that we have to understand that the moment we understand that simply because God has adorned you with a gift that allows you to earn more, to do things that everybody else is not doing, it might be a gift. Because, you know, somebody told me this, Rocky, the other day, because as it pertains to Tava, you know, Tava, I just merged with another company.
Right.
It was very spiritual and it was very true. They said, Kenny, you know, this is where I want to share something if you don't mind. I said, no, I don't mind. They said that the reason that, you know, Tava did not reach the levels that it could have is that because you didn't have anybody in the capacities that you needed them that was operating in their area of greatness. That was operating in their greatness. Because if you had surrounded yourself with people that were operating in the space of their greatness, then it would have allowed you to operate in your greatness. You follow me?
Right.
So I get that. It's not a knock. It's just that everybody has gifts. My area of greatness may not have been as a CEO. You follow me? My area of greatness would have been is what I'm doing now. Like I'm a field general. My area of greatness is building companies. It might not be running companies, right? But had I had somebody that could have been a CEO, could have run the company for me in the capacity of CEO, and that been their area of greatness, because the people I had, I'm not knocking them. But when you talk about your area of greatness, this is an area that God has anointed and appointed you to serve. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if we understand that simply because you're in a position, it doesn't mean that you are omnipotent. It doesn't mean that you are greater. It just means that God gave you a gift of greatness that's allowed you to be in a position that you're in. But he has also adorned other people with gifts of greatness that allows them to serve on their levels. And that if you ever combine those gifts together, and say that one person is great, has gifted in this area of greatness of being a CEO. This person is gifted in marketing. This person is gifted in troubleshooting. This person is gifted in being the CFO. This person numbers. When you pull that puzzle together, that is the answer to us as a people coming together. But it is so hard to do that, Rocky. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I'm saying I just pray that it can be done before I leave this earth.
I believe that it can be done. I know in entertainment, and when we're I do a lot of productions or whatever, we always tell the talent, our actors, to find their light. You have to find your light. If for whatever reason, you have to find your light. And I believe that as people find their light, they excel. Then they're seen, they're shown. So that's what you're saying. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm looking at the comments, and they're embracing what you're saying. But I would like to take it a step further, because I've known you a lot of years, and we're very close. And I've known you a lot of years. And the one thing that I love about the pack is that I think we finally got the right name. I think we're finally doing the right, the name, the mindset of the pack. It's the culture. Ever since I've known you, from your what was it, the 40 plus club?
40 plus club, yeah.
Okay, the 40, ever since way back then, you've always nurtured and embraced the culture of together we can achieve. We have to do it together, and everybody excelling and us together moving forward. And I believe, and you can talk a little bit about the philosophy and the mindset of the pack and how that came about, because we had a whole nother name that it was a tongue twister, and I was going for it. I'll try to make anything happen, because that's what marketers do. But when you had the pack, the wolf pack, that mindset, I think that's the culture, and your gift, your talent has always been bringing entities together, identifying where people shine, and then stepping back and allowing them to shine. And you constantly being that person that says, because you will give praise, but those days that I've been fired. I know about those days. I believe that's where we are now. That's where your talents, your gifts, God's blessings have brought you to, where now nothing will stop us, and you will see it in your lifetime, because you've created the culture of the pack, the mindset of the pack. So talk to us a little bit about that, because I think people are seeing you in such a beautiful way right now. It's not an hour of power, but you're really talking to our consciousness, and we're hearing your history and why you are who you are and where it comes from. And now it's all making sense. So talk to us about the pack.
So here's my deal with the pack, right? Is that when you operate in sync and understand that everybody, like, you can't have my light because God gave me my light. So you have to recognize where your light is, because if you want, like, sometimes you will have somebody in a position of, like VP of sales, but you have other people that want to be that, but that is not what God had in store for you. So therefore, when you try to take it, it throws things out of whack. It becomes, but with the pack understands the dynamics of the gift of leadership, but everybody is a leader. Everybody has a leadership role in the pack, and how you eat, how you do everything. It's just a pecking system. There's always a pecking system, but everybody understands that when they go out there to eat and hunt, everybody has a role, man. And it is so incredible. But here's the biggest thing for me, and I can't echo this enough, that my father honored the opportunity that he had. He honored it. And he didn't just honor, he honored it. And because he honored it, he served the NBA very well, because for real, like Will Chamberlain and Bill Russell, two of them notable names. If he had to slap somebody in the stands, you would have never seen Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain in their prime. He honored it. I mean, like, I'm not talking about just playing because he was the first to do a whole lot. You know, my father, he honored his race. He honored his race because he was a exemplary example of Black excellence because he won a championship with a team. He made a team. He started on the team. He was a great player, respected. You know, he was respected on the court and off the court. He didn't do stupid things, you know, and he made sure in everything he did, it was to honor the opportunity. So the same thing applies here. This is what people don't get. When you have an opportunity to do something where there's no limitations placed on your earning potential, where you have the opportunity to run your own company, you have the opportunity to change the narrative of where your wife can shop, where you can travel, where your children can go to school, how you roll around, what car you drive, what neighborhood you live in, you know, what kind of freedom you have. When you have an opportunity to control that narrative and you let things get in the way, like, I didn't like the way he talked to me and what he said, that is what separates those who deserve it and those who are not ready for it. Because when you deserve it, when you are ready for it, when you are ready for it, there is nothing that anybody can do or say to me, nothing that can get me off track to my purpose, to what is waiting for me. There's nothing, there's no emotions. There's people say I'm confused. Being confused is a voluntary act because you don't have to be confused because you can always find the answer. Confused is an excuse. So when they call and say, the pack's not here, what's going on? This happened. When are we going to have? People, when you call me up and you talk about something that we don't have, anybody that always talks about the problem is, and they make the problem about something we don't have, they're not ready. Because there's not one person in this industry that has gone to a company and taken a company from the bottom to the top that was not missing a lot of things. And when you are ready, you will play with whatever hand that you're given and you will make the best out of that hand. So you have to honor the opportunity to change the financial trajectory, to change the course of your life and your children's life. And I have honored it to the T. That's why, man, I give it everything I have because I know what it's going to bear. It has allowed me to take my wife out of a situation that we were in, being broke. It allowed me to take her and put her in the lap of luxury because why not? I want to honor my wife. You know, I want to honor my wife by making her safe. I was listening to TD Jakes, and it was so deep. Because here's the deal. I got to pull this up and repeat this. Hold on. Y'all hold on with me. He was talking about when you're covered, right? Now just hold on.
Yeah, because I'm trying not to say it because I don't want to lose that, but I'm going to write it down.
Hold on. Just hold on. There you go the devil right here, okay? Let me not I'll just hold on. I got two phones working here. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. So he was talking about the power of being covered, right? You know, and so for me, it's like, I know that God is covering me. I know that I'm covered. I know that I have this covering over me. And so the thing that when you give it, just because God gives it to you, it covers you, it doesn't mean that you don't have responsibility. So he covers me. I have favor. I know because I have a calling and I'm recognizing it, but it's not easy. So therefore, if I have a calling, man, I work my butt off every day to cover my wife. And what does covering mean? I protect you. Covering means protection, provision. You know, it's power, it's protection, and it's provision. Power, when you're covered, you have power. And you have the power to protect your family, and you have the power to give provisions to your family. Same thing in this business. Right now, if I have been anointed and appointed to do this, to do what I'm doing, to shift and come over here and do this, then you all have a covering. But you have a responsibility as a woman, as a man, to enact the power to provide for your family, to cover them, to make sure that they're safe. And you have a chance here. You don't understand the power of network marketing. Man, listen, this is like, it changed my life completely. But you know what? I had to change my life to get it. Before it changed my life, but I had to, it changed my life, but I had to change my life before it changed my life, before it could change my life, because I had to stop making excuses. I had to stop saying, yeah, well, my mom is sick, my dad is, man, yeah, okay, I know they sick, but you know what? Damn it, I got children, I got a life I want. So I have to compartmentalize it. Hey, this is and Rocky, it's true, because my mother was dying. I compartmentalize that, because if I had just focused, see, some people choose to focus on something that would give them an excuse. My mother was in the hospital. She in 2020, when COVID first hit, she was in Detroit, Michigan, and it was a hotbed for COVID. They weren't letting anybody come in the hospital and visit anybody. So my mother was in the hospital dying. I couldn't even get to her. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to talk to her, but I worked through it. You understand? Because I know that my mother, when she left this earth, I knew that she was good. She was good. My mother, I knew if she could have talked to me, she would have said, baby, I'm good. Do your thing. Come on, carry on. You know why? Because my mother and my father made all kind of sacrifices. They didn't make sacrifices so I could be mediocre. They made sacrifices so I could be enormous. Man, listen, when I look around here, man, I'm not lucky. I'm blessed, but man, I was obligated based on who they were, my lineage, based on the things they did for me, based on the sacrifices, man, I was obligated to be this example that I am for my children. And everything I do, I'm not motivated by the money. Don't get me wrong. When I was broke, I needed the money. But what motivated me when I first started in the industry, it was just to pay my bills. I swear on everything. It was like, I just need some money. I just need to pay. Listen, if I can just make, $3,600, $5,000 a month and pay my bills, I was just, and most people, when you first join this, you're motivated because you can't pay your car note. You're having difficulty paying your house note. So you're motivated by that, right? But after that, it's not about the money. Man, my whole thing, what I'm doing right now, the space I'm in, it is about my legacy. My father left me a legacy. And it was not a legacy to fail. It wasn't a legacy to make excuses. It wasn't a legacy to be lazy. My father taught me that you can't be average and Black in America. If you want more, you have to be more. You have to do 10 times more than everybody else to get what you want. If you want more, you have to be more. You have to have principles. You got to operate on principles. You can't take shortcuts and excuses. Money and excuses do not come. They can't commingle. And my father embedded this in me, and this is why everything that I do, I give it my all. And you know what? And when I give it my all on principle from the universe, it gives me their all. It gives me all that I want. It gives me on principle because I give it my all. I don't make excuses. My wife will tell you, man, I'm like listen, I know that God has determined, it's already written. It's just that you understand at different places in your life that your responsibilities become different. I'm 65. I got a 3-year run. 3 years and I'm out. I've had a great run in network marketing. Network marketing has blessed me. I have people telling me, out here, man, people talking about this, saying, man, do you think I care about people talking about me? I don't give a damn about anybody talking about me. They talked about Jesus. They talk about LeBron James like a dog. They talk about Kobe. They talk about Shaq. If they ain't talking about you, you're not doing nothing. I don't care about people talking about me. Because the one thing I understand about that is that is internal disappointment and hurt. It is.
Mm.
It is. When people rage and talk about, man, I pray for people that talk that enrage and go live and talk about. I really do, because I know them. I know who they are. I know who they are internally, and I know that when people are going through hurt internally, people internalize it and do it in different ways. So that's why I never anger. I never strike back, because I understand that people are going through things, and when you understand that, you understand this. Right? That your greatest responsibility, the greatest thing that you can do as a Black person today on this earth is to elevate your family.
Mm.
To go get health insurance, go get life insurance, go
Just
get a go
facts.
work on your health. Teach them. Listen, teach your children how to have a bank account. Teach your children financial literacy. That's the greatest thing that we could do for our kids right now. You know, before I entered Tava, I had Tavaverse. It was a financial literacy platform. I'm going to do that separately because, man, I learned so much. Man, it's so much. So the greatest thing that you can do is start internally. Is if you have children, if you have a husband, what legacy are you going to leave them? And if you're one of those ignorant niggas that talk about, man, I'm taking mine, wow, I'm taking all mine with them, man. I can't spend it when I'm dead. I'm not leaving nothing to nobody. If you want to, then shame on you, for real. I always think my glasses are crooked when I'm on here. Then shame on you. The greatest thing that we can do for as Black people right now is start internally. Don't worry about the race and everything going on. Don't worry about that, because that is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. What you worry about is legacy. And legacy is, what are you leaving your family? What are you leaving behind? Are you leaving debt? Are you leaving your family with having to GoFundMe to bury your ass? Are you doing? What are you doing?
Car wash.
You know, I'm just asking. What are you doing?
Right.
What are you leaving? What legacy are you leaving for your children? What is the example that you leaving for your children? Because my son is 23 years old. He lives here in my house. I let him live here because I see him doing things. He's moving. He's not going to be here long, but I see him doing it. And the thing that I tell him every day is that this ain't your life, boy. This ain't your life. This is my life. You just a tenant here. This is because you're gonna have to go make your life. This ain't your life. You know, for real. But I am what every day when I try to do, I try to be an example to my children. Like, they see me. They saw me struggle when I was at my last year at top. I was struggling, man. It was a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. They saw it. But you know what they see me do now? They see me snap out of it and they see me come back. Because it ain't the struggle. The struggle doesn't define you. It's your elasticity.
Come back.
To come back. And so people can talk about you all you want, but everybody falls. But that ain't how you fall. It's how you get up and run that race and keep going. I'm like Mayhem. You know that guy on Allstate? They call him Mayhem.
Yeah.
Get hit by a car. I'm like, man, I fall down, get hit by a car, man. I get up and dust myself off, and I'm keeping it moving. You know, because if people want to look at me and say, yeah, look, that Tyler didn't work out, man, anybody wish failure on somebody, man, you stay away from that. Because guess what? Newsflash, it wasn't a failure at all.
Not at all.
Man, I blessed a lot of people through Tyler. Tyler blessed me. And guess what? I kept it moving. And guess what's happening now? If you don't know, you gonna know. All right. And I know y'all know.
So let me jump in because we almost out of time. I got to jump in, but I mean, I promise you, everyone's enjoying this because you guys, I get these conversations like 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. If it's on his mind, and he'll just call and just talk, just like this. And I just, a few things that you said, a few stories came to mind, and I just want to share some of my experience. Number one, you talked about legacy and lineage. And the key thing, the reason why I wanted to do this so deeply, and I had this talk with you, is that we as a Black community need to understand, and I do use the word need strongly, that he is speaking, Mr. Lloyd, Kenny is speaking about our lineage. It is we as a people, our lineage. Old folks used to sit on the porch while they shelling peas and talk to their children the way Kenny is talking to us now. Talk to their neighbors the way Kenny is talking to us now. We just sat and talked about it. And that's why our history needs to speak, because we don't talk anymore. That's why this series is needed, because we do not share our stories anymore. We will, and it will, our history and our lineage will fail if we stop talking to our children, if we stop talking to our neighbors. This is just how Tanya feels about it, and why our history must speak for itself, because it's okay if you go so far. But think about, and Kenny talks about this all the time, how much further will you go when you're able to be pushed up by those that love you, those that support you, your family, your children? When they see what you're doing, they're learning from it. And I always tell my son, I was like, baby, never try to walk in my shoes. Never, ever try to fit my shoes. Because if you walk in my shoes, you'll only go where I've gone, and you'll only see what I've seen. But your mama is strong. Stand on my shoulders. And that way, when you stand on my shoulders, you can see that much more. You can go that much further. And that's what I believe you're sharing with us, Kenny, is that we have to support and build the culture and the lineage where it doesn't matter. Shaka Zulu said, or in the movie, they had Shaka Zulu saying that bloodlines are a poor excuse for loyalty. I believe that, because the people that are there for me the most, that love me the most, that are always there, that I can count on, are the Kenny Lloyds, where there are no bloodlines. But tell me he's not my brother. Tell me that he's in need and I'm not there. Tell me that I can't call them and tell them I'm hungry and DoorDash not be at my door. See, that's what family is about. Family goes beyond the obvious. Family goes beyond the features. Our lineage goes beyond that. And we as a community, if we just understood that, then think about where we'd be. And then I want to talk about you and your wife. When you say something, you have to mean it. And I learned this because I remembered, and I tried to pull up, and you guys can go and go on YouTube and look for the Kenny Lloyd story. It's one of those, and it's an older story. But I was trying to look it up, but I didn't get a chance to find it in time while you were talking, Kenny. But I remember when it's either when you were doing the AMC, the what was that, the amateur billionaire thing, or the Kenny Lloyd story. One of those, you said, with Shantae sitting right next to you. I see her. She had on black hair, and you were talking, and you said, when I come back, I'm gonna buy my wife. I'm getting my wife a Bentley. I'm getting her a Bentley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I never ever forgot that. And then when you got the house, I never shared this with you. The joy I had when you got Shantae that Bentley, that blue Bentley. When you got, and that said to me years ago that when you say something, you have to mean it. A lot of people say, I want a car. I want this. I want that. I just want to be able to go where I want to go when I want to go. I don't care much about money. Has never really been a turn on. You know me. You know me well. And when I say that, people be like, everybody. No, money never really does it for me. I'll give it away before I keep it. And that's the battle you and I have, and Shantae, y'all. That's the battle I have all the time. But if I want to go somewhere, I can go somewhere. So I'm happy. I'm at my peace. Everybody's peace is different, but whatever your peace is, you got to mean it. So when the opportunity comes, you recognize it. And I feel as though so many people, we fail to recognize opportunity. And opportunity will only sit at your door for so long. because we say things that we don't mean because we're not ready to put in the work. We're not ready to study. We're not ready to do what's needed in order to have what we say we want. So nothing can stop you. I was taking notes. These are my notes. Nothing can stop you. The only thing that can stop you is you and what's going on between your ears. Because your faith and the ability to believe in you. And I love what you said. Your father honored the opportunity given to him. Go ahead.
Well, I see a question. It's a really good question talking about how do you beauty asking, how do you balance your relationship and your business? We're business partners, and we don't agree on everything. We don't agree on everything, but I'm driven by honoring my wife because see, here's the deal: the greatest thing that ever came out of me being broke as hell when we, the greatest thing that ever came out was my wife. She was down with me when I didn't have a dime. She was down with me. She trusted me. She let me lead. She never killed my spirit. So when people say, "Yeah, man," I mean, like I mean, what's the difference between a Bentley and they both get you to point A and B? I said that's a damn lie. Because the difference. Because listen, any man that's a real man wants his wife to be in the lap of luxury. You understand? And I don't care. It's not superficial at all, but there's a different level of life out here. And why not you? Why not your wife? Why not your? I want my children to be able to roll around here nicely and dress nicely. I want them to be able to have have a house, have their own studio, and do their thing. Why not? The only people who kill who denote that and talk ill of that are people who don't believe they could ever get it. But I'm gonna tell you now, it was the greatest day of my network marketing life to be able to get her that car and to make her happy because she deserved to be happy and she deserved with her work and effort. But I will say this before we got that car, we made sure that we had money in the bank. We made sure that we had investment. We made sure that we were good. We didn't get that thing and I didn't get that for until I knew we were good. I'll tell y'all the story, then I got to get off, right? So funny because I got her that car. TLC had got me a limo, right? So the cars broke down, and me and LaChelle had to go to Dallas, right, for a meeting. So we said we were going to drive. Was going to roll in the limo, but something happened to the limo, and so then I had to drive. She talking about don't tell that story, right? Don't tell it. So I said, Sean, I need to take your car, and you drive the Mercedes. You keep the Mercedes. Well, the Mercedes broke down, and it was hot, so Sean was frustrated. So we were on the road, and I told LaChelle to drive because I'm tired, right? And so we driving, and my phone is going off, bang, bang, bang. I pick the phone and Chantel on the phone like, why do you answer the phone? What? I said, baby, because I was asleep. How are you sleeping? You driving? Baby, so she was driving. So I think, she was like, she was just, already frustrated. What are you about my damn car? What are you? I mean, so LaChelle is sitting next to me, and I'm like, yeah, sure, we're having a great drive. What are you driving? Oh, what is he doing about my car? Boy, listen, I told LaChelle, I said, hey, this ain't gonna never happen again. As soon as we get back to Houston, I swear I am going to get because all I had was a car that I was being driven in. I said, I swear I am going straight to my car broker. And not only am I going to my broker, I'm going to get a Ferrari. Okay, I'm going to get
Is that how the Ferrari happened?
a Ferrari. I'm not lying. So I get back, and Shantae was like, yeah, okay, well, I'm going with you. I'm like, you can go with me. So the whole time she's like, we don't need a Ferrari. We need a SUV. I'm talking about, hey, this ain't a we trip. This is a me trip. I don't care. I've already taken care of we. I done got my son a car, you a car, your mama a car, my mama a car. And so we go to the dealership, and I'm looking, man, I find a Ferrari, bad Ferrari. Listen, you know, listen, this is the first time I bought myself a car since we've been together, right? So I'm looking at the car, and I'm sitting in it, and I'm a man, and I look in the windshield, and I see Shantae standing in front of it like this. And I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, oh, the more she did this, the more I was like, so it's funny. So I said, well, let me think about it, right? So, because I had to come home and have a meeting with my business partner, for real, Shantae, and look at our accounts and everything, and make sure, baby, I'm saying, if I do make the decision, are we good? She said, yeah, we could do it. So I said, so we're gonna have a meeting and talk. So Shantae called me in the office. And I walked by my son because I took my son back the same day to look at it. And he was like, Dad, you got to get this. You got to get this. I say, Miles, why you give me 3 good reasons. Give me a good reason why I should get this. He said, because you got Shantae a car. You got your mother a car. You got her mother a car. You got Scooty a car, which is his brother. What about now? It's about you. What about you? You got me a car. Now what's your turn? I'm like, you damn right. Where you get that wisdom from? So we got back to the house, and then so Shantae called me in the office, and I walked by Miles. My Miles was mini me, right? I walked by him and said, hey, Dad, I said, what's up, man? He said, man, I know you ain't gonna let her punk you, are you? I know you punk you. I'm like, I went in the office. So I talked to her. She said it's good. She said, but we should get the Escalade. I said, I'm going to think about it. I guess y'all know I could not get out of my mind how she dogged me out on the way to Dallas. I went and got that car, and I tried to sneak it home because I'm scared. I just wanted to, man, I couldn't even sneak it because that doggone thing makes so much. We pulled up, boy. She came out. I'm like, yeah. But the whole point was, our money was right. We were right, you know, and I got her something. And so it was great because it was a beautiful thing for me to get it, you know, for me to get something like that. Because I couldn't even have imagined 2 years before me even having a Ferrari or Shantae having a Bentley. We just wanted the cars that worked, you know,
right.
It just worked, you know. I couldn't even imagine, but in order to get that car for her, in order to get that thing, in order to get that for the company to give me that limo, listen, I didn't let anything, and I'm telling y'all as I get off this call, hey, today is the day at TLC. They paid, we had to earn our ranks and everything weekly. And the top position that I held, you had to do $250,000 on each leg. That's $500,000 a week. And you know what? If you think that, listen, that's a week. I want you all to look at where you at now. And I want you to think, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to just not go to sleep until you reach your goal? Do you want it bad enough to get on that phone and call everybody you know? Do you want it bad enough to not take no? Do you want it bad enough not to let negativity creep into your head? Do you want it bad enough not to quit? Do you want it bad enough not to make excuses? To talk about when is the ballet going to hit? When do you almost say, when did... How bad do you want it? Because I know I want it bad. And so I'm telling you, if you want it bad like me, yeah, come on. Come on. I got you. I got you. I got you. If you want it bad, come on. I got you. So that is the most important thing about us being Black. Let's do something special. Let's not make excuses. Let's make our children proud. Let's make our parents proud. Let's make our husband and wives proud. Let's be able to do nice things to them. Why can't you buy in a private jet? Why can't you stay in a penthouse? Why can't you be driven in a limo? Why can't you? And the only reason why can't you? Because you ain't doing shit but make excuses. So the moment you get past that is the moment, because you know what? You can. And if you get down with me and run with me, if you get down and run with me, see, because me and Shantae, we the examples. We hit this position because we wanted to show y'all it could be done, and we wanted to make sure that we understood how to do it the right way. So it's done. So y'all next, but y'all got to do it like we do it. Y'all can't be making excuses. You can't be sleeping, talking about everybody. I can always tell people they ain't gonna make any money because they always ask about things they know we don't have.
Shantae, you got the collection plate? Because he served us today.
All right, so I gotta get back to work, Rocky, because
go to work. And I gotta do this.
Paying me for this. I gotta get back to work. I see y'all out here, Beauty, the Shamburgers. Yeah, y'all get off of here now and go to work.
Wait, I gotta tell them something. Bye, sir.
All y'all. Get off now and go to work. Today is what's today? Today is what, Thursday? Oh, hell no. Y'all get off and go to work. I kept y'all on here for an hour.
Yes, they was on for an hour. Bye, sir. Hey, you guys, before you go, and yes, we're going to get off right now, but before you go tonight, you want to see how this man is living exactly what he talked about. Tonight, there is a Zoom to recognize all of the folks that in the first week of the launch, they hit rank. Everybody, you will be able to check your email if you hit rank. Everybody, make sure you are on this call. And then this does not stop. Next week, Beauty, you guys, she's going to share, and we're going to continue this conversation. Black History Speaks, and we're going to talk about how reality ain't real. Reality TV, a lot of folks don't know. Cutting It Up in ATL starred our very own Beauty J, and it will be hosted by my friend, my sister, none other than LaChelle, Pierre. So I cannot wait. I want everybody back next Thursday. I believe it's going to be Thursday evening, 8 p.m. We're doing this day and night. Next Thursday is 8 p.m. Make sure you're there with LaChelle, Pierre, and none other than Beauty J. Ladies and gentlemen, this was everything, and I cannot wait until next week. Y'all go to work because you got work to do, and I mean it. We're going to go ahead and end the broadcast, but here's the lineup for the next 3 weeks. I appreciate everybody. Share and tag, and make sure that you let everybody know that Black history truly speaks.